Hi everyone, welcome to our history lesson for today. I'm trying something slightly different where I'm up in the top right corner and then we've got the PowerPoint there for you to see. So let's have a look. We're going to be starting our history topic today and I'm really excited because our history topic is all about the Mayans and I love teaching history and it's going to link really nicely into our geography topic all about South America. If I end up looking over there, that's because I'm over there on the screen and I keep forgetting that the camera's over here. So apologies, I'll probably end up looking over there more than I'll end up looking over here. So let's get started. We're looking at the Mayans. Now we're going way back in history for the Mayans. I'm not going to tell you too much because that will spoil some of it for later, but we're going back into ancient history. With World War II, we were looking at quite new history, relatively recent. For the Mayans, we're going a long way back. So we're going to look today at where the Mayans were, how they were discovered, and where in the world they came from. So the Mayan civilization was located between what is now known as North America and South America, in between. So you've got the United States here. It wasn't known as the United States then. It was just a piece of land, basically. And then you have South America with, like we're learning in geography, Brazil, Argentina, all down here. And the Mayans were somewhere in the middle, roughly where what is now known as Guatemala is. So this is the map here. Now what I'm going to do is, in a second I'm going to ask you to pause the video and you're going to go to the pack I've uploaded onto the website. And on that pack are lots of different events that happened in world history, but I've taken the dates off. What I would like you to do is, using any knowledge you have, without cheating, without looking, I'd like you to have a go at ordering them from what you think is the oldest to what you think is the newest. Now you could print them out and cut them out and move them around if you want to, but equally you could just have a go at writing them down or numbering them. So I'm going to show you what that sheet looks like now, and then you're going to pause the video, go onto that sheet on the website and have a go at ordering them from oldest to newest, please. Like this. You've got the Bronze Age, Vikings, World War II, Ancient Greece, Iron Age, Ancient Maya, Christopher Columbus, Ancient Egypt, Romans, World War I, and the Stone Age. And then here you've got relics and remains of the Mayan civilization are discovered in the Americas. Now I'm going to give you a couple of tips here. What I would do to start with is look for what you think is the most recent, and you know that goes at one end, and then look for what you think is the oldest, and then put that at the other. Then try and put the rest somewhere in between. Okay. Have a go then. Can you try ordering them from what you think is the oldest to the newest, please? Come back to me when you're done. Okay, so I'm going to show you a timeline of world history in a second, but before we do that, we're just going to talk about which ones of these are easier to place. So I'm looking here at World War II. Well, I know that's relatively recent because we looked at that in our last topic. So that is going to go at one end of my timeline. I'm now looking at anything with the word ancient in it, and I'm thinking, well, that's got to go towards the other end. I know that World War I came before World War II, so I can place that one quite easily. Now the tricky one, and the one we're interested in, is where do ancient Maya sit in this timeline? Well, let's have a look and see. We start right back at the Stone Age, so if you've got the Stone Age, that should come right at the beginning. We then move along, and we've got the Bronze Age and Ancient Egypt. Now, Ancient Egypt starts just before the Bronze Age, so you should have had that one first, and the Bronze Age not far after it. As we carry on going, the Mayans start here, so they're just after or during Ancient Egypt. Now remember, some of these events happen at the same time because they happen at different places in the world. Maya happened in South America. At the same time, Ancient Egypt is in, obviously, Egypt. So you can have more than one event going on at the same time, hence why some of these overlap. So you've got the Mayans. Moving on, we then have the Romans, the Greeks, those are on there. We keep on going. We've got the Anglo-Saxons and the Vikings, which you learnt about in Year 5. We then move into the Tudors, you may have heard of, the Victorians with Queen Victoria. And then finally, right at the end, World War One, 1914 to 1918, and then World War Two, 1939 to 1945. So the Mayans happen an awful long time before those events. In fact, it's one of the earliest events of all of those cards you had, happening right back here. The only thing really that comes before it is the Bronze Age. As part of that is ancient Egypt. So let's keep on going. So, in 1492, Europeans first came to the Americas. That's what we now consider to be that little bit of land between North America and South America. And Christopher Columbus first sailed from Europe to America in 1492. He returned with tales of a rich and vast land filled with gold and other precious materials. Straight away, everyone wanted to go there. They wanted that gold. They wanted those precious materials. So what did they do? Well, they sailed over. They wanted that gold. They wanted that glory. And they met lots of native people. And they are the people that lived there originally. The Europeans thought they were savages. And so they battled them to take over their land. They wanted to own that land. They didn't just want to take their materials and their goods. They wanted to own the land completely. In 1519, a group of Spanish explorers, led by a man called Cortes, sailed to Mexico, or what we now know as Mexico. There they were met by a group of people who were called the Aztecs. Now, the Aztecs are not the same as the Mayans. Remember, we're in 1519 at the moment. This is when the Spanish came over. The Mayans happened a long time before that. The Spanish explorers, who then became known as the conquistadors, also known as the conquerors, fought to take over the Aztec land, and after 2 years they succeeded. They took over all of their land. The Aztecs were defeated, and Mexico became what's called a Spanish colony. That means it's owned by the Spanish. So, 1519, Spanish arrive in South America, or just above South America. Mayans happened a long time before that. So how do they link? You're about to see. Once they conquered the Aztecs, they began to explore the rest of what's called Mesoamerica, that bit of land between, okay, where you've got Mexico here, Central America. They travelled all the way through it, and the land was really mountainous, so full of mountains, and it was really rugged, and it was quite hard for them to get through. There was a lot of rainforest. And on their way, they came across a lot of native people that they had to defeat before they could move on. So that as they moved through the various areas, they defeated the local people, took over the land, and then kept on going. The conquistadors thought the native people were savages. They didn't like them at all. And they didn't think they were as advanced or as civilised as the Europeans. They saw them as sort of a lower class of people. The Spanish believed they had more right to the land than the people who originally lived there. And then one day, while they were exploring the rainforest, the conquistadors came across something that amazed them. They found something that looked like this. Now, at the time, it looked already like this. And what can you see from it? Well, hopefully you can see it's already almost in ruins. So it clearly wasn't new. It'd been there for a long time. They saw things like this. Again, even at the time in 1519, already it was falling apart. Been there for an awful long time. Ruins like this. They discovered whole abandoned cities with strange pyramids and other buildings in the middle of the rainforest. What do you think they were thinking? Well, I know what I'd be thinking. Where's this come from? And that was what they were unsure of, because it wasn't the Aztecs. The Aztecs were there then. So if it had been their buildings, they'd be new. They wouldn't be already ruined. So the Spanish thought to themselves, well, who could this belong to? And that's where the Mayans come in. And that's what we're going to learn about in the next lesson. This was the ruins of the Mayan civilization, discovered in 1519, hundreds of years later, and no one knew that they were there. So, from this lesson, what you need to take away from is that the Mayan civilization was based somewhere between North and South America. It's in that little gap in between. The Mayan period happened at the same time as ancient Rome, ancient Greece, and the Egyptians. All of them going on at the same time, but in different places. The civilization wasn't discovered until hundreds of years after it was finished by the Spanish conquistadors. Those are the nuggets of information you need to take from this lesson. What I'd like you to do is to create a mind map on some of the 5 W's, the what, when, where, why, and who. Here are some of the titles you could use. So you're going to think about who discovered the Mayans, where did they come from, why were they there, what did they find? Where was the Mayan civilization? Where is it on a map? Which countries are there now? And when was it? When was the actual civilization? Remember, that was here. And when was it discovered? Different time, hundreds of years apart. The civilization and them being discovered. Remember, at the moment, we don't know about the actual Mayan civilization yet. We're going to learn about that in other lessons coming up. For now, we're just looking about how they were discovered and where it sat in world history. Okay, so main task, complete a mind map, please. For now, hope you have a lovely evening or day. I'm recording this in the evening. It's probably not the evening for you. I'm not even sure what time it is. For now, speak to you later. Bye.